Okay, we're going to be watching Toasters, who is playing Anna on Route 66. And Toaster said, I'm struggling to make an impact on games and sway the results. I'm on a losing trend at the moment, dropping from Silver 5 back to Bronze. I started playing when Overwatch 2 came out, and I can tell my aim is lackluster, especially hip shot, but I love Anna's, it's a ton of fun. Apart from aim, I think positioning and target priorities are the main areas I think I need feedback, but completely open to any suggestions. Cool, let's take a look. So for starters, you have Ryan as your tank. I think Anna's a good pairing. Ryan historically has been and probably always will be. Your other support is a Moira, which is very, very independent. You have two quote unquote like main healers here, so Ryan should be getting plenty of healing, which gives you a little more space. Like if you see the Moira is pocketing the the Ryan, you gives you space to heal the DPS, to do damage, to look for flanks or whatever it is. If your Moira is off doing whatever she's doing, then you're going to need to make sure that you're pocketing the Ryan. But certainly your Ryan should never die here for lack of healing. That's like really, really important. Um, yeah, your other DPS is a Soldier, who's fine, pretty regular here. I don't think he's super strong at this point, but it's bronze, so who cares? And for the other Pharah, this is a little problematic because neither you nor the Moira can consistently heal a Pharah. You're going to need to shoot her out in the air, which I would not rely on if I was in bronze. But kind of is what it is. It's certainly not throwing by any means. Just letting you know that it's certainly tougher for you to heal her versus like if you're a Brig or a Kiriko or Mercy, etc. Okay, let's play this out. Alright, you can shot right away. You can just walk back and spawn by the way, get healed. No real reason not to. Okay, so I think it's reasonable, right? The Tracer's putting pressure. You try to nade. I don't know that your nade. Did your nade actually hit the soldier? I guess it did. It's a pretty good splash, actually. Yep, you hit him. Great. So cool. I mean, get a pick right away. Right. Toss a quick heal on her, and then just keep walking forwards. Right. Get to the cart. Keep an eye on your Rhine. So, where is your Moira? Your Moira is just doing DPS Moira things. So basically, assume that your Moira is not here, and just rely on your Rhine to do things. Or rather, rely on you to do most of the healing for you. Right. Again, Moira is mostly DPSing. I would toss the Moira heal right now. You're not likely to kill the Orisa here, even with purple, because it's almost at the end. You want to be able to have line of sight of this? Toss heal. Okay, so you're getting way too far away from your Rhine. That's like a big thing here. Because if your Rhine goes around this corner, which is a very reasonable corner, right? You have to attack. The Rhine has to move past this corner. You cannot see them. Not only can you not see him, it will take you probably like 5 or 6 seconds at a minimum to even be able to see like this far, much less if he goes around the corner over there. You're playing way too far back. Way too far back. You need to step up. Like, stop looking at the soldier. Like, it's fine. I mean, this is what I tell people, the only heroes on your team who rely on healing, right, and are expecting a constant source of healing, typically are your tanks. The DPS, its healing is nice, and they expect to keep healing if they run back to you, but otherwise they're not expecting to get pocketed. Okay, your tank almost always is going to assume that there's a support constantly healing them. This is probably one of the #1 reasons why I see people throwing games in both silver and bronze. Is they're simply just not looking at their tank. You not looking at tank here is a big problem, right? Okay, good. So now you're starting to move forward. I would try not to stop moving. Like, I would try to shoot while moving forwards, just because I still think you need to get closer. I know the Pharah is like a danger, but you see how when the Rhine goes in front of the cart, which is like reasonable, right? Because the Orisa is there, he's got to make space. You can no longer heal him, and this is a critical period because if you're healing him right now, he kills the Orisa here for sure, right? He's done the job, the hard part, which is getting next to the Orisa. This is now an easy kill if you can get there. Yeah, see, too late. Rhine dies, and this fight's lost. So again, just positional mistakes, right? You just need to be a lot closer. I know the Pharaoh's putting some pressure on you, but you have to be like, I have other people here, like play close to the wall, and then just expect that your team will eventually kill the Pharaoh. Because if you just are that scared of the Pharaoh, then your Rhine doesn't get healed, and you lose anything. I would scope if you're having trouble with hitting this shot, like which is not unreasonable, like scope and shoot. Scoping is much easier. First of all, it makes them a larger target. Second, you don't have to be dead on accurate because it gives you like a larger area where anything inside scope. I'll show you. Okay. Yeah, I mean, hopefully you scope later, and I'll show you it. Anyway, so weirdly enough, like the Ryan's going high ground. I would be nervous he's gonna go around the corner. I would even potentially think about walking high. Actually, more is there, so I guess I would stay here, right, and just see what's gonna happen, right? The problem is, again, the Rein is advancing. I need to be moving up. Even if the Rein's going up the left, I have to be moving forwards. You're playing so far back. Like, probably at some point, either somebody told you or you registered, like, oh, I'm playing way too far up. I'm like, I'm exposing myself to too much danger. You're not close enough down to do your job. Right? I think it's really important. Think about that grenade you threw earlier. If you were closer to the Rein, the grenade would have arrived on time and saved your run. I mean, I don't know what this sleep is for. Like, there's one Tracer right here. The Tracer's not any danger. I mean, that's the important thing. Sleep has a crazy long cooldown. It's like 15 seconds or whatever, right? You want to save sleep for a reliable sleep. I would say, if you're throwing sleep, I would say you have to be at least 60-70% chance that you're going to hit it, okay? And it's going to lead to, like, a fight-turning effect. This Tracer right here is pretty far away from you. Plenty of time to, like, react, blink, rewind. She's one of the most mobile heroes in the game. She also has rewind, right? The odds of you hitting this sleep here, assuming your aim is on target, is pretty low. Additionally, it's not like you need to save anybody here. Everybody here is basically full health. Only the Moira is currently missing like 60, 65 health or so, right? There's no way the Tracer's going to kill anybody here. You don't need to worry about this. You can literally, like, if I were you, I would just ignore the Tracer other than to try to shoot her, right? This is a bad sleep there. Also see this. Okay, so this is fine, right? So, like, you can check on your Rein. Okay, so the second I'm like, oh shoot, my Rein has advanced, I need to move up to save the Rein. This is a big mistake. You can see on your screen, right? This is not just replay. You can see on your screen that the Rein is critical right now. And you are not walking forward to heal him. Additionally, right there, looks like, all right. Nope, actually, you did reload when you had to. You're missing a lot of shots, but okay. It's a good splash, right? You managed to avoid the spin. I still think you think about nanoing here if your Rein is that close to the Orisa. Right? The problem is I think you nanoed a little too late here. I don't know if you actually had it. Yeah, I think you want to do it before the Rein gets bumped backwards. Like right there, that would be a huge time to nano. It's tough though because the Orisa's in the way, but or the Moira's in the way rather. But like right here would be the key time to nano because then he can just start swinging the Orisa and the Orisa can't get away. Right? Once he gets bumped there, I think you don't bother him because like you see how the Rein can't do it. He gets to charge in. Orisa kites him, right, and he can't do anything. Okay, so again, advance. Reload. Focus on the Rein. Yeah. Because like you're not gonna get. She's spinning, so she's gonna eat that or absorb that grenade, right? Splash it on the wall, the ground, like you did last time.
I see you.
So a reasonable follow-up here, by the way, is sleep. The reason being is it's gonna increase the amount of time that the Orisa is crowd control, right? She's stunned. She gets. Basically loses control, hits the wall, stunned briefly, and then she'll immediately pop her cooldowns. If you throw sleep at the right time, she won't be able to pop her cooldowns until after the Rein's gotten at least a swing and a fire strike in, which makes it harder and harder for her to survive here, okay? Because Fortified, for example, reduces half of all damage that you take, but if you've lost all but 50 health, it only gives you 50 extra effective health, right? But if she has 300 health, it'll give her 300 additional health. So that's something to think about. That's in addition to the actual plus ceiling effect that is. Okay, great. Orisa's dead. So at this point, this is just kind of like probably going to win here. I wouldn't worry that Soldier's like missing 1 health. You have to be advancing again. So you see, here's another problem. Because you're so far back from your team can't help you, right? If you were playing here, the Tracer's going to be a lot more scared to try to go after you, right? Because the Rein is right here, the Soldier right here. But you're playing so far back that A, the Tracer can contest you, and B, the Pharah has chosen an angle that can hit you, but she can't be hit because you are out of position way too far back. So I'm just going to fast forward. Nothing really watch here, right? And because you go down, right, again, your team isn't able to win. Again, oh, sorry. I always assume if I die that the fight is lost, right? Don't rely on your teammates to carry you, especially if you want to climb. Okay, advance. Some shenanigans are happening because people are dying, though you haven't got there. All right, winnable. So you should be thinking about grenade here, right? But her spin's over, so now there's nothing she can do to stop grenade, right? Big grenade. Yeah, I mean, good enough. Like a reasonable grenade. Right, you hit the Orisa, but unfortunately you can't really follow up. You want to heal your Moira right now. Okay, I think it's good call to look at the Soldier, right? Your Soldier's visoring. Should really be killing the Tracer, right? Advance. I think you drop right now in advance. Because you see how hard it is to throw grenades, like when you're this far away? Advance right now. Right, again, now the Rein's charge around the corner. This is not your Rein's fault. Like, this is a reasonable place to be fighting right now. If I'm the Rein, I expect you to be playing, like, right here. I don't expect you to be playing way the hell back here. You have to advance, right? Otherwise, you're going to be out of the fight. Like, look how long you're able to not do anything. Again, you can't save your Rein, right? Now the team is dead. Again, don't try to retreat here, honestly. I would just die here because you're going to run a huge risk of getting picked here. Yeah, see, now the Tracer's going to try to chase you down. If you die here, it is a massive mistake. Oh, wow. Alright, you heard that.
I appreciate the support.
Tracer messed up trying to get the kills. Okay, so I would think about nanoing the Winston when he goes in, right? You had Nano there, right? Winston, great Nano target. I think you need to pop. Yeah. I mean, your Winston shouldn't die there. That's really kind of on the Winston. But I think that nanoing him when he goes in there is reasonable. But also, yeah. As soon as I saw that he was getting bumped, I would have walked to the right and I would have had time to nano him. But that's like a micro mistake. It's mostly on your Winston. So you're down one, right? You technically killed Tracer, so you should be even, but the Tracer will be back a lot faster than your Winston will be. I assume that, well, you have 18 seconds left, so this fight has to be it. So you have to find a nano target really quickly, right? Ideally, right, it would be the Soldier with Visor. Soldier doesn't have Visor. I don't even know where the Soldier is. Soldier's on low ground right now. I think I nailed the Fair here. I think you have the nano Fair. Right? I think holding here is not good. It gets worse and worse every second. Right? Again, you have Nano. I think Nano was the right call if you're going to use a save there, because you really need to hit a big nade here to win this fight, right? Like, that's your win condition. If you throw a nade and your team can follow up and get kills, because they have both supports still alive right now. So you really need to hit a big nade here to win.
10 seconds remaining.
You have to pop Nano here at some point in time. Okay, yeah. So you've doomed your team to make it impossible to win this fight. Right? Because you haven't popped Nano on anybody, and you have 1 second left. I think this is just probably poor clock awareness. At least Nano your Winston now. Like, pretty late, right? You want to Nano your Winston when he's going in for the back line. Like, he was just kind of floating there. I don't think your Winston, when you nanoed him, had leap even. He doesn't. Okay. Yeah, I mean, you just get killed. You just get cleaned up. Okay. So, recapping just the attack, right? I think that, one, your general positioning... I would, first of all, say, I don't think your aim is actually an issue. Certainly not getting out of bronze and silver. I don't think your aim is that bad, right? I think your aim is certainly passable to get through silver, for sure, right? And get up to gold. I think that your positioning, number one, is the biggest problem. You're playing way too defensively, which I think is relatively easy to fix. Just play a lot closer. Just think, like, if my Rein turns the next corner, how long would it take me to be able to see him? If it's more than, like, 2 seconds, you're probably playing in the wrong spot, right? You have to be able to see your tank is the single biggest thing that I think has kind of jumped out here as wrong. And number two is just, you just didn't nano anybody. Like, that was tough. I don't know if you like have been kind of like hard coded to be like, oh, the only person I'm supposed to nano ever is like my tank and maybe Genji, but you can nano other people, especially when that is your only option to try to win the game. I think that just, situational awareness. Okay, your team is playing really far up. That's probably because of how little distance they have. This is a risky play. It can work, but it's pretty risky, and generally speaking, it almost never works. But your team is welcome to try it. Your team is trying to do it, so I would try to do it as well. I think this is fair. I think you end up playing here. I would prefer to play on gas station or cliff, but Alright, so again, if your Winston's back there, I would not expect that he's going to get any healing. Like, if I was Winston, I wouldn't expect to get healed. But when he comes back, you have to be immediately ready. This is one of the things that is tough for me when I play tank against Ana's, where they need to be ready the second I am visible. Like, when he's jumping on the top, I want you to heal me right there. And you might think, okay, that's like a really hard demand. Like, how do you know? Like, but like, it can be very, very tight. Like, the windows of how little health I have when I need to get out. Sometimes you need to hit me with the dart right here, or I will die to damage. So you need to be Johnny like on the spot right there as soon as he leaps over and start healing. And again, you just weren't. You weren't looking for it, even though you saw that he was half health and you saw that it was jumping and you heard the jumping. You have to be ready to heal. I would heal him more right there. I don't know what you're looking at. heal the sim and the sojourn.
Help me.
Like this sleep is going to Narnia over here. Oh, okay. The sojourner used to be there. So this, I think you're not used to the sleep delay, like how long it takes sleep to come out. So I think that again, if sleep was instant, that would have been a much closer shot. But still, you need to heal these people, right? Ugh. So again, your grenades are too low. You need to put that up higher and probably splash it against the back wall or direct hit on them, quite frankly. Also, your sojourn dies right in front of you without getting healed. So again, I'm going to play this back from the sojourn's perspective. Hasn't gotten healed, hasn't gotten healed, hasn't gotten healed, hasn't gotten healed, right? The entire time, you're standing right here. And at no point in time did you heal the sojourn. That's rough. You're just getting way too scared, too distracted, right? You could have just been like, screw it. Like, who cares if they're up there? Just shift to the right under the cliff and start healing. Then the only way that they can kill you is they'd have to walk literally out here, stand still, and look down to kill you. Okay? You have 2 DPS here. You have options. You have people to protect you, but if you're not healing people, then your bodyguards are going to end up dying. Okay. I think retreating here is reasonable.
Much better.
Again, I think you gotta be peeking. You gotta see your allies through health, right? Like, you see that they're yellow, that means that they're injured. You gotta be healing. Like, you're... Yeah. I don't actually know what healed your sim, but... Alright, so again, try to keep your eye on Winston. Did you need the reload right there? 13, right? So you see your sim's injured right now. Heal her. You have 13 shots right now. 12 shots. 11 shots. 10 shots. Your sim's injured. And now you start reloading. Like, this is a heal that you've got to hit. You just scope here, right? Okay, scope and kill the soldier. Oh, man, that's rough. I don't know what you're pinging. Okay. Shoot, melee, yeah.
You still have much to
Again,
learn.
great, but you got to turn back and be like, hey, what was happening during the period of time where that was going on? Your front line is getting wrecked, and you're just not looking, right? Like, you got to kill her and immediately go back and be like, okay, how do I help my front line? Because your Moira ends up dying out here, right? Let's rewind back. Your Moira ends up dying out here. And you conceivably could have saved her, right? You shift over to the left, you conceivably could have saved her there. And again, if you'd saved your Symmetra, the Sojourn would have died, because Symmetra would have killed her. One dart would have been enough, and then you would have been all set. That is a bad grenade, right? Hucking grenades into open space is terrible. Try to always splash them on the walls or the ground. It's way too hard to hit a direct at long distance like that. That's potentially fight losing, honestly, the grenade that you just threw. Okay, so you're trying, again, bad sleep, right? That sleep's not aimed at anything. You just end up putting it into the cart. Even if you hit the Orisa, it's not going to change the outcome of the fight at all. You don't need to. Like, you can just walk behind cover. The Orisa's not an imminent threat to you to, like, kill you. Your Winston's dead, so you have to pull back. Pulling back here is the right call. Right? Again, try to heal your poor DPS. Alright, this is fine. I mean, you want to farm soul ulti. Okay. But the problem is, you can't get overly excited about what's going on up here, right? So who dies right here and how? Wait, I have to go further back. What happens to your Pharah? Where is your Pharah? Your Pharah's up in the air, right? Gets no healing whatsoever. So you... What were you doing while this is happening? So you have to register the Pharah's on low ground right now. She's not going to be playing low ground forever, right? You're shooting this Orisa, but like what actually you need to do is you need to be healing the Pharah up in the air. Because the Orisa's not going to die, okay? And that's not a priority compared to keeping your Pharah alive. Because you can definitely hit your Pharah here easily and keep her alive. If you're healing her, she does not die yet. The Moira Beam is what kills her. Moira Beam only does like 50 damage a second. You can easily outdo that. You heal like 80 or 90 health a second. Again, if you try to go for that shot, scope it if you're going to try to kill her. Heal your Symmetra? Yeah. Now, you see, now walking forward is pretty tricky, but I think it's reasonable now that your Winston's walking in. Big nade. Yeah, you hit 2. Yeah, definitely in work. Die here. Okay, Soldier's putting... Okay, you're in big trouble now. It's because your sim died. That's how you get run over here. Well, let's figure out why does your sim die here. She also was not paying attention. Just get right click. Yeah, that's something you could have done here. This part, not your fault. You had to step forward to throw the grenade. I think that's reasonable. I think you drop right now. Second, if I'm you, and I'm suddenly getting gunned down from the left, I don't even look. I immediately just drop down to the right. because whatever's happening, like I can hear how close it is. It's not like I'm getting shot from long distance. She's right next to me. The only way I survive here is to drop down. Yeah, bad sleep. You're going downstairs, and then you get killed. After this, like I don't think you guys are gonna be able to contest realistically. Oh, maybe you do get another contest. All right. Gameplay. So Moira, not a target that's like she's on fire, yes, but Coalescence will heal her enough that there's like you notice that she's not actually losing any health, that the dynamite's gonna be irrelevant. You want to again focus on your Winston, please. Heal your Winston. Yeah, I mean, the short answer to why Winston dies here is you're simply not prioritizing the Winston, right? You're shooting the Moira right now when you should be stepping forward and healing the Winston. That's like the priority. Again, I'm telling you, heal tanks more, right? And then I would throw the grenade over the top right now against this wall while I can't see him and immediately start shooting him again. Right? That's on you. You could have saved him for sure. Right? Good sleep. That's why you save sleep, right? Stuff like that will happen. You sleep to like have high value, not like Hail Mary shots. This is pretty tough because like you kind of need to contest this. I wouldn't bother going backwards here. Like backwards is not going to result in anything, and plus the Bob's killing you. I would stay. There's like almost no way you win this fight, but I would stay right here to the left and climb up and get ready to jump on cart to contest with the Moira. Right? And like maybe you nano her and like a miracle happens. There's no reason to be walking back here where the Bob's taking damage. Like walking away is definitely like look how close they are. Walking away definitely. Okay, so. What are my suggestions? Number one, positioning. In particular, you're playing way too passive, way too far back. You're not able to follow your tank around the first corner in a timely fashion. Number two, you're not healing your tank enough, period. Like you're not constantly keeping an eye on your tank and able to heal them. And number three, you get distracted really easily and you stop healing DPS who are right next to you, who are burning to death / taking duels. I think if you clean up those three things, your games would improve dramatically. Because I think your aim is decent, right? I think your grenade usage is good, right? Is good, certainly good enough to take you up through gold. I think really it's just about making sure you're consistently healing as much as you possibly can. Obviously, you can also be DPSing, but like I wouldn't even fret about that at your level. I think just healing. People are always like, "Oh, you have to DPS to carry." I don't think that's true at all. You could definitely carry these games just by healing, right? If you healed, your Rhino's doing perfectly fine. I think if you just were healing him, I think you would have at minimum taken the first point quite easily. All right, hopefully that was helpful.